Okay, Shalom Akim, Kahalayim Na Yahabashim Yashabashim Hakodash, double on Instagrams and apostles, Saudi Yashar for the strength, to make this video. Shalom once more to you Akim, man. It's the brother Ratazar Racha Halawaya. And I just wanted to say a side note because of the previous video, which I did based on North Korea joining in with Russia. I tried to include the clip from really what's it called, the newspaper agent called The Guardian, and they just YouTube just sent a copyright strike, so I had to clip it out in case you see certain moments that don't really flow too well, because I had to just cut out that section. So that's that side note there, just in case if you do watch the video and then you see some certain cuts, it's because it got copyrighted. That's why, so I had to trim it. So onto this topic though, for this video, which is the main focus, is really the fact that sedition will rise up against it will spark, then it will grow. That's what I named it. Sedition will spark before it will grow. The reason why I named it that is because, first of all, sedition really means rebellion against the authorities, the higher authorities, which in our case, is really just Esau Edom. He's temporarily in authority over Israel right now, which of course, going into the curses of Deuteronomy 28, is part of what we have to suffer through, man, serving our enemies. So, including their idols as well, hence why Jake, Israelites are in a dead state, man, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, as well as a speckled bird out there. But sedition, which means really rebelling against the authorities, going against the authorities, it will spark, which means it will start with something that will trigger it, and then from there, it's just going to grow and grow and grow, man. They shall not regard their kings, which, of course, I might as well get that out too. So, this is Second Esdras. Hold on. Yep, pretty much what the lesson is named after. This is Second Esdras 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So of course Yahweh Shemeshah will allow this rebellion to spark up, where you're going to start seeing riots everywhere, people protesting, I think they call it race wars over there in Babylon too. You can see that in the UK. I remember bro was also talking about postcode wars as well, which is really just between gangs in different areas of the UK or London specifically. Then you got really, as I said, sedition going against the government. People rebelling against the government. So in that time, when the Al Bashir Yashar, of course, makes Esau to implement the MOTB, there will be a rebellion, even for those who are not of the truth, man. All these guys, who may be labeled as conspiracy theorists as well. Yahweh Shemeshah put the spirit upon them to rebel against Esau Edom as well, man. Some of them, would die in vain anyways without knowing Yahweh Shemeshah, or they will, but because the fact that they rejected Yahweh Shemeshah, they're just going to have to go out the way that they go, man. Because there will be people who will rebel, man. You're going to have those type of spirits in there, man. The rebellious ones against Esau Edom. Even just watching the videos of preppers and all these other guys, on alternative platforms as well. The thing is that with as I said, the spirits, the rebellious spirits, they will be there. And of course, those guys who are, prepping and, who are also seeking the truth in terms of really what's really going on behind the scenes, like, what's Esau actually up to. For instance, during the 2020, 2021, about these certain the demics, those guys who were revealing it, those doctors who, were risking their reputation, those are the type of people who will actually rebel against the government, man. They'll say, okay, if they gotta die, they gotta die. So, Mosai is gonna put a spirit out there. So let me read it again. 2 Esdras 15 and verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, of course, again, once more, man, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, Again, people having controversies between each other, man, such as the people, because we know that we had the U.S. elections that happened recently as well between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and of course we know that Kamala Harris actually did a quick one and didn't even want to respond back to the voters, man. She didn't want to make a response for after the election. she went for a quick one. She was like, "Yep, we ain't gonna give them no time." When I say them, I'm referring to the voters, which really the voting is in vain at the end of the day, because we're supposed to choose one from our own people, anyways. I'm talking about specifically Israelites. But yeah, going back to the top, it says, "Sedition among men and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." So they're going to know that, the prime ministers, which is what we call our leader upon the UK. When I say our leader, I'm talking about the UK leader, prime minister, equivalent to president. And you got the president of the United States as well, and all the other presidents all around the world as well, whom are actually selected, not actually elected. So really, the democracy ideology it's not it doesn't stand strong, man. So yeah, it says here. I could read that as well. Yeah. Hold on. Actually, I read up to verse 19. So this is verse 17. 2nd Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. I remember there was also a movie of which I think so. It should be on Amazon Prime. So like, what was it called? COVID-23 or something like that, or COV-23. Actually, no, no. Yeah, Fardia, It was called Songbird. Songbird was the name, but it was based on the CV variant of which affected the brain. So of course, in that time to come where it says a man shall desire to go into a city, the reason why I mentioned that movie because there were restrictions, in each region of the city, man. That's the way it is. There were restrictions of how one could just access it. People had to stay in their homes and only had limited access to. Really, only the ones who were immune in that movie could go outside and do deliveries and do their jobs and whatnot. But the ones who were not so called immune, they had to stay in their houses, man. So it says therefore, because of their pride, the cities shall be destroyed, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So let me get to verse 18 again. So for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So of course it's because of the fact that time's going to be a time of famine and destruction, man. Pestilences as well. The bioweapons that Esau's got going on, to affect certain regions as well who aren't with his agenda, as well as, really across the different countries. But of course, Babylon will suffer through this the most as well. So it says that because of their pride, as it says there, pride cometh before the fall, So it says, pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed. So of course, even living places, man, it's not going to be peaceful. The scriptures talk about certain of us being pilgrims for a reason, pilgrims upon the earth for a reason, man, because we will be moving from place to place. You won't just be staying in solitude, man. The Abba Shimshak could have you in a certain place for a certain period of time, whatever it may be for, maybe a few days, weeks, or months. But then you're gonna have to transition to another place again, man. You're gonna have to walk around. Each according to the will of Yahweh. So, it says, "Men shall be afraid, man," because you wouldn't know who to trust. It's like, okay, who's there in the bush? Who's targeting you? Those enemies of which you had, they're going to probably start targeting you, saying, okay, let's see what we can extract from him, man. That's why you got to be cautious of what you say or what you reveal to people, in that time to come in Jacob's trouble, because they're going to try and leverage or steal and, be as thieves, man. That's why it says houses shall be destroyed as well. So it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. See, this is what I just said, man. People are going to be thieves in those days. There's going to be an increase in stealing. It says spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. That's famine. That's a literal famine. That's what famine means. A lack of food. A great lack of food. And it says here, so it says spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Which tribulation really just means like a big amount of suffering, man. So when it says great tribulation, that's a lot of suffering to come. In a time where you can't really eat, I say you can't really eat because we know through faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua that we will eat in those times. Miracles will happen, and through the faith that we have in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, He will provide us food, man. We will be tested. Certain days we gotta fast, and I'm talking about like out of not of our own will, anyways. But certain days we're gonna have to fast, and then Yahweh is gonna bless us with food, and then we manage with that, and then we keep going, man, little by little, in order to increase our faith up, man. Certain brothers might even be blessed with spiritual power in order to manifest food out of nothing, man. Imagine you just say a prayer and then you got the fruit right next to you, the food right there, man. Again, spiritual power is also something that we look forward for too. So that's 2nd Ezra 15, verse 16 to 19, man. That is going to be chaos. Verse 19 again, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. In fact, just on that line alone, let me get this as well. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, man. It's like, look, he gotta eat. That's what Jake gonna be thinking. Jake gotta eat, man. That's all they're gonna be thinking. They're gonna eat or protect their family. That's even one of those things, man. Protect their own. But yeah, the love of many are gonna wax cold because of that, man. As it says in, which links to this, 2nd Ezra 15, verse 19, the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And that links with this. So this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse... Hold on. It said 24. 24 and verse 12, isn't it? Yeah, it says, this is Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So iniquity meaning really just wickedness of people shall abound. That which means there's going to be an increase in wickedness in the times to come. People are talking about moral conduct, moral code. All that's going to be done away with, with those people of the world, man. They're going to have really a few things in mind. How can they eat? How are they going to find food? Well, obviously how are they going to eat, which involves finding food. Then how are they going to protect themselves? Those are going to be the two top priorities, man. That's why, bro's going to be brother against brother, mother against mother. I say mother against mother. But your sister against mother-in-law, and then so on, man. So, of course, that's what it's talking about. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And it says in verse 13, following that, but he that shall endure unto the end shall be saved. And Yahweh says, we are that he, which is reference really to the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And we always say Yahweh says that we are those men who do endure to that moment in time, man. So, on verse 12, he's talking about the iniquity shall abound and the love of many shall wax cold, which links to 2nd Ezra 15 and 19, saying a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, man. So those two go hand in hand. No pity, the love is going to wax cold because of the fact that wickedness will increase, and of course famines, pestilences, and which is really all Yahweh's judgment at the end of the day, man. All these are different means of judgment from the Most High. So it says there, 2nd Ezra 15 and 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. So of course you're going to be seeing shootouts, man. You're going to be seeing shootouts, especially in America, man. Here in the UK, you're going to have shootouts. probably more so, knife stabbings as well. That's all going to increase, man. That's why we're going to need faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So it says it, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. They're going to ravish the house and flipping look for food, man. That's what they're going to do. So let's see. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. They're going to be in that pain, man, feeling that suffering. So that was 2 Ezra 15, verse 16 to 19. And I read verse 12 about the love of many shall wax cold because iniquity shall abound. All right, let me read verse 7 to 8 as well. It says in Matthew 24, actually I read from verse 6. Matthew 24, verse 6 to 8. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So that's the instruction from Yahushua right there. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Actual wars going on. You got the Hamas and Hezbollah against Israel, man. You got that war going on right now. You got another war, which is of Ukraine and Russia. North Korea supporting Russia as well with troops. And of course weaponry too, which I tried to make a video on, but copyright the clip. But all you gotta do is just type up North Korea and then with Russia, man, and then type news on YouTube, and then you'll see some clips there. So it says there, and that's what it's talking about. Hear of wars and rumors of wars, man. It says, see that ye be not troubled. And of course, another one that could be looming around is also China and Taiwan, man. That's going to trigger people. Because I think, if I recall correctly, Taiwan are actually specialized in producing semiconductor chips. Which, of course, these semiconductor chips will be useful for phones, for laptops, for desktops, probably for smart TVs as well. And all these, even gaming consoles too, man. Which, all in all, that type of technology will be used in or infrastructure technology will be used in the MOTB system, and to construct those chips at mass scale, and of course for ESO to implement them. So it says for all these things. Oh, and he said, Yahushua said, see that ye be not troubled. So of course we shouldn't worry about these things, about these wars and rumors of wars. They're supposed to happen. He's told us they're going to happen. Now it says here, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So it's just the beginning. The end hasn't came yet. Just because we're hearing of these wars, the end hasn't came yet. So for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. We're already seeing that, the start of that. As I said, Israel, Hamas, and Hezbollah, they're going on right now, war. And of course, you got Russia and Ukraine, man, that's been happening since 2022. So it says here, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So in different places, man, different regions upon the earth, different countries, they're going to be experiencing famine. They're going to be experiencing pestilences, as the one that happened 2022, 2021. You got the mpox and bird flu and all that. Whichever one Esau chooses, they're going to try and, ramp that up, so that people start fearing again. And not just fearing, when people start to see death, literal death, that's when the fear is going to get close to the peak. I say close to the peak because the peak is really going to be Babylon's destruction. But it's going to get close to the peak of fear. But fear will increase. That's what I'm talking about right there. But especially the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, for nation shall rise against nation. So that's Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So in different places, famines, lack of bread, remember, lack of food, pestilences, all these bioweapons in order to affect people, and destroy their immune systems. Sterilization was also another effect, they said, for the juice, in the arm. But that's more of a long-term effect. When I say long-term, it could be 2-3 years. And, it's been 2-3 years since 2021, man. Even from 2022, it's been about 2 years. We're about to wrap up 2024. So So it says, and earthquakes in diverse places, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So yeah, that's really the key point is verse 6 to 8. But yes, as it says in verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. So we're gonna have to go through our own suffering as well. If it be our Bashim Yashai's will for a certain brother to go through some torture, then we gotta go through it. As I said, man, as I always say in certain videos as well, where it's one thing saying something, and it's another thing actually acting it out. So we gotta pray to Yahweh Bashim Yashai for that strength to endure whatever we have to endure through in the time to come. So it says, yeah, then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. So yeah, some of us are going to have to die for the truth, man. And so be it. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's Yahweh's name's sake, man. So of course, Yahweh Shim Yahshai, man. They're gonna hate us because of the fact that we worship Yahweh Shim Yahshai. But anyways, the key point, going back to the lesson, is in verse 8. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Famines, pestilence, earthquakes, rumors of wars and actual wars going on. These things are just the beginning. We shouldn't be troubled by them because Yahushua, of course, has foretold us of these things to happen, and to, of course, remain calm and keep the faith in Yahweh Yahushua. So that's on about pestilences. Let me get another precept as well, Ezekiel chapter 5. Hold on. Alright, Ezekiel chapter 5, verse, 5 verse 11 it should be. I'll read from verse 11 to about verse 14. So this is Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 11. Wherefore as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary and all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall mine eye spare. I need to read that again. But that's talking really to Israel, man. That's the Most High talking to Israel. So this is wherefore, it says in Ezekiel 5 verse 11, wherefore as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary, so corrupted the sanctuary, and all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee, neither shall my eye spare, neither will I have any pity. So of course the Most High is coming with that judgment, man, and he ain't gonna have pity upon Israel, especially those of whom got the chance to repent but they don't repent, man. Which really, this is that grace period that we still have, because it's still the beginning, but the grace period is still there, where it's like for those who need to repent to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this is that time, man. So it says, it says, I also will diminish thee, which means he will weaken Israel, man. That's why they're going through the curses, and that's why they're in this lowly estate that they're in right now. So it says here in verse 12, a third part of thee shall die with pestilence. Certain Israelites are going to die from diseases that Esau releases, which is ordained by the Most High to do so. And of course, custom ones that the Most High makes as well. Pestilence. And with famine, lack of bread, lack of food, you're going to die of hunger. Which that's another thing, to die of hunger, man. Your body eating itself. You feel you get malnourished, and then from there, give up the ghosts. But that's a painful way to die, man. It says, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee, and the third part shall fall by the sword round about thee. And I will scatter a third part into all the winds, and I will draw out the sword after them. The sword referring to the guns, man. Modern day weaponry. So swords referring to the guns, the modern day weaponry, man. So it says here, Yeah. So it says a third part to the pestilence, to famine, and of course to the sword, man. And we did read in Second Ezra 15 here that hold on. It says in Second Ezra 15 verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So they're going to use swords, man. Of course, not literal swords. But really, in the UK, of course, you're going to have people using knives, people using guns, especially in America, they're going to be using guns in order to ravish people's houses, man. So, of course, that links to Ezekiel 5 and verse 12 about the Most High using a third part shall fall by the sword, either amongst themselves, because, Jake going to kill Jake in that day as well. That's what they've been doing even before Jacob's trouble. But that's what it's referring to, man. Also, Esau's sword is going to be used as a way to punish Israelites as well, man. 2/3, Zechariah 13 and verse 8. So it says here in verse 13, thus shall, Ezekiel 5 and 13, thus shall mine anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal when I have accomplished my fury in them. So, of course, that's the Most High's fury, man. He's going to use pestilence, famine, sword. Of course, really, these are all these forms used for judgment, man. You've got a few more to mention in the Apocrypha as well. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon 11, verse 19 too. About hell, famine, and fire used for judgment. I'll just get it quickly. But, going back to the topic, though, sedition among men, man. Hold on, let me see if I can get this. Yeah. It should be here. Hold on. Is it Ecclesiastes 39? I know that talks about spirits of vengeance, but honestly thought it was oh yeah, actually it is. It's the verse after. So Ecclesiasticus 39, also known as Sirach 39, verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, which is what will be used to execute the Most High's fury, man. Fire, hail, famine, and death, man. Death, as it mentioned in Ezekiel 5 and 11, about the sword, man. A third of Israel dying by the sword. So that's what it's going to be. Also, pestilence as well, linked to death as well. So that's there. Continuing on, so Ezekiel 5 and verse 13. Thus shall mine anger be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted, and they shall know that I, the Lord, have spoken it in my zeal when I have accomplished my fury in them. Moreover, I will make thee a waste and reproach among the nations, and a reproach among the nations that are round about thee in the sight of all that pass by. So, of course, he's going to make us as a shame, man, Israelites. Hence why, as I said, the reason why we're in this position, this lowly position, is simply because we disobeyed the Most High and the curses of Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 onwards. Of course, all the other curses that the Most High said he's going to reveal, show upon Israel. That's what we're deserving of, man. Until the time Yahushua, of course, collects his remnant, which we always pray for, that we are part of those men. In order to receive that salvation that's duly needed. Now, so that's really the point. Ezekiel 5 and 11, verse 11 to 14, about the famine and pestilence, man, sedition among men. And all of this will happen in Jacob's trouble, so I might as well just get that one quickly too. This is Jeremiah 31, which is not 31, Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So, of course, that he is referring to the men, the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, and preferably, as we always say, Yaratazar, the elect of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man. It says, but he shall be saved out of it. It says, alas, for that day is great. That day is great, in a fearsome way, in a terrific way, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So Jacob's trouble, as it says there, Jacob's trouble, which means it's specified for Israel to go through, man. Anyway, so that's Jeremiah 37. And we know with these US elections, people are being quite joyous because of Trump winning. And we've got the Kamala supporters. They're in some sad state. But as I said, man, either way, these things don't matter to us, man, because of course the Most High setteth up kings, and he taketh he removeth kings as well, man. So because of that, we know Esau's gonna end either way, man. So just because Nero is now in place doesn't mean that it's gonna be in place forever. Right, I said I was gonna get something. First Thessalonians 5 and verse 3. So this is 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3. 5 and verse 3 says, for when they shall say peace and safety, and the people are feeling in that safe mood, especially with this election. It says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And Esau, Yahweh Shem Yahshua will use Esau to trap Jake, man. Thinking that things are going to be soft and good, the good old days. No, those are over. As Apostle Tahar said in one of his videos, man, recently, where he said things are going to go from worse to worse, man. Worse to worse. That's even a way to say it. But that's the point right there. It says, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, man. It's going to come suddenly, man. That destruction is going to come suddenly. So we've got to be aware of this. Sedition will spark. It means rebellion against the authorities. It will spark, as Esau implements these draconian measures and triggers people with certain events. Then it will grow. As people awaken, as the Most High opens people's eyes to what Esau Edom's actually doing, then the son of perdition is going to be revealed. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, okay. Yaratazar, that you've actually understood the video, and on to the next one, man, as the apostles always say. But yeah, Kah Halalim La Yahweh Shem Yahshua Bashim Rahakudash, the bonus scripts and apostles, Thoudy Yahshua for the strength, in order to make this video. And Shalom, Yaratazar, that you've understood the video once more, man. Shalom.